finally got around to watching Sinners. Don't cook me, I have a daughter and the only thing I watch now is Dora and Bluey. But it's a very good movie and I enjoyed it a lot, so I decided to peruse YouTube to see what other people thought about it. And lo and fucking behold, we have Stevie Knight giving his interpretation of the movie. Hold up. Y'all hear that?
That movie was butch.
Yeah, and then why y'all gas it?
Gas. That movie
For
was...
what?
I hear a black woman.
Why y'all gas it?
Gas. That movie
For
was...
what?
But I don't see one. Huh. I understand it now. I understand why you reduced the movie to being about black victimhood and the white devil. I understand why you reduced one of the leading actresses all the way down to being just a big fat black woman, which in your eyes isn't the proper representation of the black community.
If you want to empower black people, bro, why would you have this big black fat girl be the representation of like the black savior woman?
And I understand why you labeled the movie as woke.
It's just like a woke propaganda piece.
And why you think the point of the movie is just to demonize white people.
The point of the movie is to demonize white people.
So let's get this straight for you, because we all know research isn't your thing.
That's cap. Did you Google it? Did you Google it?
I don't need to Google it.
You don't need facts. But you know what? Facts don't care about how you feel about it. I need you to Google it.
What you did get halfway right is that, yes, the movie is about music and how it's ingrained within black culture. And yes, there is correlation between the vampires and the appropriation of black culture, etc., etc. What you missed, and God, there's a long list of what you missed. Let's start at number 1. The Black Church, the opening scene. The church has been the foundation and a safe haven for black people for generations upon generations. It provides a sense of community, it's a place to worship, and it was used to strategize resistance efforts. And it was one of the first places black people could truly call home. In the movie, it highlighted the struggle within Samuel, who was dealing with having to choose between his love for blues music, the church, and ultimately his family. And this went even deeper, saying without saying the relationship the church and those who were religious during that time period in the Deep South had with this type of music, often referring to it as the devil's music because it was played in juke joints and was associated with indecency and drinking and gambling and the like. You know, for someone who built his entire career off of reviewing music, I'm surprised that the importance of blues music in the 19th and 20th centuries went right over your head. It's a part of our identity as black people and the social issues we were having at the time that helped us transform our Negro spirituals and African traditions and so on and so forth into the music that we have today. All while they were enslaved. That was the driving force. Those slaves and sharecroppers essentially gave you your YouTube career, Stevie. Or is history too woke for you? Let's keep going. Smoke and Stack were war vets and also products of the Great Migration. And since you don't research, I have the cliff notes. I got you. The Great Migration was a time period where a lot of African Americans from the South migrated to the North for better opportunities to cities like Chicago, or in my grandparents' case, New York. Shout out Queens, They brought the money that they hustled from up north back down south to start the juke joint, which they purchased from a KKK member. Why did they purchase it from a KKK member? Because in the Deep South, the KKK was very prevalent and had their hands on literally everything. Again, this was the Deep South during Jim Crow. It was inescapable, and the threat of clan violence was an everyday reality for black people, which we see all throughout the movie. Nothing to do with being woke. That was everyday life. And spaces like juke joints for black people were generally off limits. But it's hard to tell a story about black people in the South during that time without including those white devils. And yes, devils, because racist people are walking demons. And those types of demons don't like to see people of color having anything. Which is why the whole point of the KKK members selling them the juke joint location was for them to come back and create a slaughterhouse out of it. But let's get into the other cultures that were highlighted in the movie, since it's just a woke black propaganda piece.
It's just like a woke propaganda piece.
Starting with the Chinese. The movie did a great job highlighting the struggle of Chinese immigrants during that time period who had to find balance between servicing the white community and the black community during times of segregation, often struggling to figure out where they landed in the social hierarchy and how they fit into civil rights and discrimination and so on and so forth. And it wasn't mentioned in the movie, but Chinese immigrants were used to replace enslaved African Americans when slavery ended. Next, we have the Choctaw. You remember that scene where the vampire came out of nowhere and ran up to that abandoned house, also in the middle of nowhere? Those Native Americans trying to warn that racist couple? The Choctaw were victims of the Trail of Tears. You know, where a certain group of people decided to slaughter Native Americans, push them west, and proceed to say they are the real Americans? Yeah, some of those Native Americans actually remained in Mississippi, further highlighting the melting pot of spirituality and diversity that Mississippi was during that time period. And there's actually a lot of overlap between Native American spirituality and African spirituality. But the focus is definitely about demonizing white people. Those bad white people. I mean, if we're keeping it a stack though, they were pretty fucked up. Speaking of white people, your favorite people, Irish culture was highlighted as well, which was dope because it opened us up to the Christianization and immigration of their people during and after the Great Famine in the 1840s and 50s, and being colonized by the English and so on. And what a lot of people don't know is Irish folk music is the foundation for American folk music, with parallels to African American music, detailing struggle, spirituality, oppression, and discrimination because of their Catholic beliefs. So yeah, just another woke propaganda piece about black victimhood and the white devil. Nothing to see here. Let's talk about the pretty white girl you love so much. Not this one.
Why y'all gassing?
But this one. The one whose character is actually white passing, but would, in fact, by law be considered an octoroon because she is 1/8 black, according to the one drop rule. And to address your question,
what's the point of having the pretty white girl involved with Michael B. Jordan be the lead cause of everything happening?
Well, Stevie, since I actually watched and paid attention to the movie, I can help you out. She wanted to use her skin tone to appeal to them because she thought they would be potential paying customers because the juke joint was about to be underwater.
With your stupid ass.
She became the middle man or middle woman to the vampires who were denied entry to the club. She was trying to prove herself to the black community as an asset and trying to keep the juke joint from going under. That's it. Mary's presence was to highlight the dynamic between white passing African Americans and non-white passing African Americans during the Jim Crow South. There's even a tie-in with how enslaved Africans had Christianity forced upon them, with one of the vampires saying to Mary, "You all do," in reference to Mary and everyone else in the juke joint needing to be saved. At least that's how I processed it. When it comes to the part of the movie where Samuel is in flow state playing music, we see a lot of different things happening. The scene visually represents Ernie Barnes' artistic style. You may have seen this picture or some spin-off of this picture. I know my mom had it above the couch and is called the Sugar Shack. Different versions of this picture have also been album covers. Marvin Gaye's I Want You is one example, and Camp Lo also used it as one of their album covers. And if you don't know who Camp Lo is, you should definitely check him out if you like 90s hip hop. This picture is a very big deal. And we also see how traditional African dance and music has evolved throughout the centuries and has blended artistic expression, values, and spirituality, carrying over bits and pieces of our past to create our future as black people who had everything stripped from them once upon a time. Bro, all we had in the field were Negro spirituals, family, spirituality, and whatever other African traditions we could salvage while being under the thumb of oppression. There's so much going on in this scene, from Zali, a West African dance being performed, to crip walking, to twerking, to breakdancing, there's so much, and it just makes me proud as a black person. And again, this scene also ties in ancient Chinese culture with Sun Wukong and Peking opera dancers all throughout Sam's supernatural experience. And as African Americans, we need these types of movies. We need to be reminded of everything we've lost and where we came from and everything we've gained and everything we still have to gain to this day, especially since most of us can only trace our ancestry back so far. Learning about who you are is good, Stevie. It's not woke propaganda.
It's just like a woke propaganda piece.
If shit like this wasn't put in a movie, niggas like you would never do the research. It's not left-wing or propaganda to learn and understand black culture. Your culture, our culture. We are a people with real history who unfortunately have had some fucked up shit happen to them due to, well, let's call it a spade, the racist beliefs of white people. And that's history. The history for whatever reason you want to hide from. But yeah, man, there's so much to this movie that I just didn't cover, because to be honest, it kind of makes me sad looking through all of the history about where we came from, and it's a lot, man. It's a lot. So let's end on some good news here. It looks like Stevie's turning over a new leaf, about 3 or 4 videos addressing other topics. So that deserves a standing ovation. There's hope for you yet, Stevie. I really hope you take a look at your comment section to understand the type of audience you've cultivated. And I really hope you see that as a reason for change in your approach to content creation. But you know what's so beautiful about black people? The thing about black people is we'll invite you back to the cookout. We may not sit next to you. We may not have extended conversation with you, but you are welcome back. We'll give you a paper plate, some sweet tea, and feed you. Your girlfriend too. She's welcome. She's not allowed to put raisins in the potato salad though. That shit's dead. Thanks for watching.